fellow taong bayan mga Kasimor. At ngayon po, pag-usapan lang natin yung interesting question na kung ano kaya ang posibleng mangyari sa Duterte Group sa 2028 presidential elections, assuming po for discussion purposes ay ma-impeach talaga si VP Sara Duterte. Kung whether or not wala na ba talaga silang pag-asang manalo sa elections or kung mawawalan na ba sila ng kandidato. Okay, and kung napansin po ninyo, naka-jacket lang po ako today because today po will just be a kwentuhan / maritesan na video. And para din po pala sa mga nanonood dun sa old videos ko, please be mindful po of the date of the upload. Nakalagay naman po yan sa description at sa information ng video kasi mukhang nako-confuse po kayo. Akala nyo yun yung tungkol sa 2026 impeachment. So again, always be mindful po of the date of the upload para hindi kayo maguluhan. So ngayon po, ang first question natin ay kung ano ba ang tingin ko kung ma-impeach si VP Sara, ano yung personal assessment. So political analyst po tayo for today, quote-unquote political analyst. Okay, so una po explain ko lang yung credentials ko as a political analyst para hindi nyo naman masabi na nagmamarunong lang ako or what. Okay, so number one po, for those of you who do not know, I come from a political family, although ngayon nasa private sector na lang po kami. My father was a governor, a 3-term governor, 4-term congressman, an OIC vice governor din panahon nung after ng people power. My mother is a 2-term congresswoman. I was a 1-term congressman myself. So in very simple terms, yung kinalakihan ko po talaga ay puro politika. And I personally po na-involved na rin ako sa 2010, 2013, 2016, 2019, and 2022 elections. So 5 elections po ang personally na experience ko na in a provincial level campaign and in a national level campaign via the party list which I represented before. So in simple terms, meron naman po tayong konting experience sa mga usaping politika at hindi tayo mema lang basically. Okay, so ngayon po, sagutin na natin yung first question. So para sa akin po, kung for discussion purposes nga ay ma-impeach talaga si VP Sara, ay hindi po maapektuhan yung chances or yung candidacy ng Duterte Group sa 2028 presidential elections because number one, madami pong nakapila sa Duterte Group. 'Di ba? Yung unang-una sa tingin ko po na second in line dyan is si current Mayor Sebastian Duterte of Davao City because come the 2028 presidential elections, he will be exactly 40 years old. So qualified na po siya tumakbo for president or vice president. And yung age requirement lang naman po is you must be at least 40 years old on the day of the election. And then kung let's say ma-disqualify din po si Mayor Baste, nandiyan naman po yung kuya pa niya, si Congressman Pulong Duterte. And even si Senator Bongo, nandiyan din po, nakapila din na nag-number 1 sa senatorial elections about in the last 2025 elections. Plus the mere fact na si Senator Bongo also was the supposedly candidate for vice president ng PDP nung 2022 elections pero hindi lang natuloy yun because si VP Sara decided to go with the unit team together with the current president po natin, si PBBM. Okay, so again, madami pong nakapila. So tingin ko hindi naman maapektuhan talaga yung candidacy ng Duterte Group because si Baste, Congressman Pulong, and then si Senator Bongo ay nandyan as backup in case na ma-impeach po talaga si Vice President Sara Duterte. And then pangalawa po, kaya tingin ko hindi maapektuhan yung chances is because of the way I view or understand the Duterte Group na supporters, yung DDS, because they are a very loyal base of supporters po from how I understand and see their interactions and communications in social media and via personal mga discussions po sa mga DDS supporters na nakakausap ko. So ang point ko lang po talaga dito is that kung let's say ma-impeach nga talaga si VP Sara Duterte, tingin ko lang po ang magiging reaction naman po ng DDS ay hindi along the lines of na sasabihin nilang hindi na sila susuporta kasi wala na si VP Sara. Tingin ko hindi po ganun yung magiging reaction nila. Kundi ang reaction po nila will most likely lean towards more na mas mag-iinit pa sa pagsuporta dun sa next in line kasi currently yung view po nila ay talagang inaapi or pinapagtulungan, 'di ba, yung Duterte Group. So kung matanggal yung number 1 nila na candidate, edi lahat ng effort nila ngayon, lahat nung pag-iinit nila or anger ay most likely mapupunta yan sa second in line nila na candidate. So yun po. In other words, hindi siya simply about personal politics from how I view the DDS. It's more on yung group talaga nila, kung sino yung pinakauna, next in line, and so on and so forth, yung sosuportahan po ng Duterte Bloc. And then yung next question naman po is kung bakit ba ang taas ni VP Sara sa surveys despite all the allegations and all the accusations being thrown against her. So yung first reason po niyan para sa akin is because of the legacy ni FPRRD. So alam naman po natin na si FPRRD when he left public service or when he left the office of the president, he had an approval rating of 80%. So majority ng Filipino ay talagang nagtitiwala at nag-approve pa kay FPRRD nung pag-alis niya. And this is despite all the allegations or the issues, diba, na tinapon sa administration ni FPRRD, which is number one, yung pinaka-controversial, yung war on drugs, which is the reason kaya po siya nandun sa The Hague ngayon sa ICC. And then pangalawa yung sa mga family issues, and then yung mga alleged involvement daw niya with mga lord na yan. So despite all those allegations, he still had an 80% approval rating. So it means mataas pa nga po yung tiwala talaga ng taong bayan kay FPRRD. So of course, dahil dyan, magka-carry over yan dun sa mga descendants sa public servants niya, because the possible reasonable conclusion po of a FPRRD supporter is that kung gusto nila ma-experience ulit yung ganong klaseng public service na FPRRD, ay most likely yung pinaka mataas na chance na maka-experience sila ulit ng ganon is with the descendants niya kay VP Sara. And then pangalawa po, since si Vice President Sara Duterte herself, matagal na rin naman po siya, diba, in public service. She was a former vice mayor, and then currently the Vice President of the Republic of the Philippines. So because of her own public service career, ay naka-establish na rin po yan siya ng support base niya and network niya. So dyan po makikita natin na nag-work together yung legacy na na-establish ni FPRRD together with the accomplishments din po and the interactions with the Filipino people na nagawa ni VP Sara all throughout her public service career. And yung third reason po is because of the current situation po na kinakaharap ni VP Sara in relation to the actions of the administration and the anti-Duterte group laban sa kanya and sa family niya. So, di ba currently po si VP Sara madaming mga pending cases sa ombudsman, tapos may pending impeachment cases din po siya. So, in simple terms, mukha po talagang pinapag-initan at pinapagtulungan si VP Sara ngayon para most likely pabagsakin siya, di ba, sa surveys. So anyway po, ang pinaka-point ko lang talaga dito, because of that situation ni VP Sara, di ba alam naman po natin na sa mga movies dito sa Pilipinas, laging binubugbog muna yung bida tas biglang babawi sa dulo. Parte ng Filipino culture na suportahan yung mga ganong individuals na binubugbog at pinapagtulungan. So yan po, and then yung isa pa still involves the Filipino culture more on sa pag-respect sa elders because of what happened to FPRRD. Yung highly questionable po, kung ako tatanungin ninyo, it is a highly questionable arrest and surrender kay FPRRD to The Hague sa ICC. And alam naman po natin sa Filipino culture, very big deal po yung respect to elders, diba? Kaya nga meron talaga tayong mga mano po na mga gestures which is not common or not being done in other sa mga Western cultures at sa mga advanced na countries. Okay, so yan po ang tingin kong reasons kaya sobrang taas ni VP Sara talaga. Number 1, because of the legacy of FPRRD. Number 2, because of VP Sara's own accomplishments. And number 3, because of the actions of the admin and the anti-Duterte group against VP Sara and her family. And ngayon po yung next topic naman natin, magdi-discuss lang ako ng mga personal observations ko sa actions ng admin at ng mga anti-Duterte group. Quick break lang mga kasimor, gusto ko lang po magpasalamat because we have recently crossed 400,000 subscribers sa YouTube. So maraming salamat po sa mga nakasubscribe na. Thank you in advance sa mga magsasubscribe pa lang. At sa mga nanonood po ngayon, hopefully you can consider liking and subscribing this video. So tandaan po ninyo, pag sa YouTube kayo mag-subscribe, 100% free ang YouTube subscription. Okay, ngayon po, tuloy tayo sa discussion. So ang masasabi ko lang po talaga doon is currently hindi po effective yung strategy na ginagawa ng admin and the anti-Duterte group against the Duterte group. And the reason is very simple. Mataas pa rin po sa surveys, diba, si VP Sara despite all the accusations and allegations being thrown at her and the cases being filed against her. Okay? At tingin ko kaya hindi siya effective is because number 1, yung inexplain ko po kanina, diba, na si FPRRD when he left, sobrang popular pa rin po niya kaya nag-carry over yon kay VP Sara. And because of the Filipino culture nga natin na laging pinapaboran yung mga binubugbog na bida and the Filipino culture nga na respect your elders. And pangalawa is because of the type of political strategy na ginawa nila, which if you ask me is yung negative political strategy, which is yung pag-try nila pagsira sa reputation at credibility ni VP Sara. And then kung titingnan din po natin yung mga tao na nagsispearhead nitong mga allegations, accusations, cases against VP Sara. So for simple terms, tawagin na lang po natin silang attack dogs para mas madali po ninyo maintindihan. So yung mga attack dogs po kasi na uma-attack kay VP Sara, pag titingnan din po ninyo, mag-research kayo about their history, ay makikita ninyo na meron silang mga hinanakit or hatred towards FPRRD, the father. So kung ikaw po ay isang reasonable political observant tapos malaman mo na ganun pala yung history ng mga attack dogs na yun, ang magiging or ang isang possible reasonable conclusion mo dyan ay mukhang pinupolitika to nila si VP Sara kasi may galit sila dun sa tatay. 'Di ba? So yan yung isa pang problem din, yung mga attack dogs na ginamit nila ay may questionable din na reputation and history in relation to the actions of FPRRD against them previously or in the past administration. Okay, and then another reason din po is because na instead of focusing on building their own candidate, they decided to keep on attacking VP Sara. Like what I already explained, 'di ba? Yung mga Duterte supporters ay very loyal individuals or a very loyal support group. Tapos because of all the cultures natin as the Filipino people, yung mga hindi talaga Duterte supporter ay mas mapapush to support them because of what they did to FPRRD. And this is me speaking po from experience, yung mga taong nakakausap ko na sinasabi sa akin directly na hindi naman daw sila Duterte supporter talaga katulad ko. Hindi daw talaga sila Duterte supporter. But because of the actions nga na ginawa kay FPRRD ay mukhang hindi naman nila sinasabi na susuportahan nila si VP Sara, pero in-emphasize nila na hindi nila gusto yung ginawa ng admin na pag-arrest nga and surrender kay FPRRD. So anyway po, going back, instead of yung negative politics, sinisiraan si VP Sara, ay mas maganda sana kung nag-build na lang sila ng candidate talaga nila, diba? Tapos yung candidate na yon pinakita yung galing niya, kung ano yung mga plano niya for the country, para magbanggaan sila ng mga policies and planning for the betterment of the Republic of the Philippines. Kasi currently, sila VP Sara nga po, may president na which is the legacy of FPRRD. So kung yung mga tao na sumusuporta kay FPRRD wants to experience that kind of leadership again, they will really support the next in line yan, which is si VP Sara. So yun yung dapat sana talaga atakihin at banggain ng mga anti-Duterte. Ipakita nila na kaya nila malampasan yung mga nagawa ni FPRRD during his time. And ito po, i-clarify ko na lang din kung bakit ko ba laging sinasabi na quote-unquote DDS lawyer lang ako or hindi ako Duterte supporter talaga.
Project manager? Yes, 15 years.
RD na questionable for me, which is yung mahilig siya magmura, tas yung mga questionable jokes din niya, and yung pag-curse niya, di ba, kay God. So, yung mga ganong personal actions niya, hindi ako pabor kasi sa ganon. So, kung let's say na yung question is to be a Duterte supporter, dapat 100% tanggap mo yung ganon, hindi nga po okay sa akin yung ganon. So, I cannot consider myself as a Duterte supporter. Kung yun yung criteria po to be a Duterte supporter, kung kailangan ba 100% tanggapin mo siya. Pero as to the policies po ni FPRRD, despite all those personal imperfections niya, since para sa akin po, madami pong policies si FPRRD na for the betterment talaga at nakatulong po talaga for the country natin, edi yun po okay sa akin at susuportahan ko yun. Kasi I always look at it hindi on a personal politics level but more on a policies and output level po talaga. Yun yung mas important sa akin. Kahit na may personal flaws yung isang kandidato, okay lang po yun. Basta ang important, because of those personal flaws niya, mas nakinabang yung Filipino people in general or at large at hindi yung personal self lang niya yung nakinabang dun sa mga imperfections niya. Diba kasi mahirap na ngayon na puro personal imperfections tapos lahat pa ng mga ginagawa sa public service ay sarili lang din or pamilya niya yung nakinabang. So the way I view it po kasi madaming magagandang policy si FPRRD like yung build program niya. Diba madami po siyang napatay yung infrastructure and then pangalawa yung sa free tertiary education din po. So ito bigyan ko lang din kayo ng back history. Yung free tertiary education, this was already being lobbied even the prior administration pa sa panahon pa po ni Pinoy. So I can personally testify on that matter because my father's last term as a congressman po was during the 16th Congress from 2013 to 2016. So during his time, meron din po siyang free tertiary education bill yung father ko, which is hindi po yun na-approve during Pinoy's time. Pero nung panahon po namin ng 17th Congress, yung file po, yung bill po ng tatay ko, re-file ko lang. Tapos yun, na-consolidate yun siya with all the other free tertiary education bills. Hanggang ngayon, meron na tayong Free Tertiary Education Act. And that was only approved during PRRD's time, 'di ba? So yan po yung mga magagandang policies, and then meron pa po siya yung mga sa driver's license, sa mga passport extensions. So overall, para sa akin, despite all the flaws of PRRD, madami naman po siyang nagawa for the country. Okay, so yan lang po yung reason kaya lagi kong sinasabi na quote-unquote DDS lawyer ako. Pero again, wala naman pong problem nga sa akin kung madaming personal issues as long as sa trabaho ay madaming nagagawa, because yun nga po yung importante naman kung ano yung natutulong